Hi Mr. Yenna. What can I do for you?
Well, Mr. Crosslin, I wanted to stop by to let you know how my science lesson was going about the water cycle.
Excellent. What kind of outcomes did you expect from your students?
The first outcome was for students to be able to describe the water cycle and the various ways water moves between places in the environment.
Did you also want the students to be able to define and use key water words such as transpiration, evaporation, condensation, percolation, and precipitation?
Oh yeah. You peeked at my plans. You little stinker.
Ha 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 ha. Imagine that, a principal looking at a teacher's lesson plans.
I'll try to find a better hiding spot. I also want students to be able to draw and label an image of the water cycle depicting water moving through the atmosphere, bodies of water, drainages, plants and animals. As if that weren't enough, students needed to describe the distribution of water on Earth's surface.
So, Mr. Yenna, this lesson looks like it might have a project that the kids did. That would help it fit right into Yenna's STEM initiative. More hands-on learning.
My students were tasked with creating usable water filters from ordinary items that they could find in most places. So, even if they were lost in wilderness on a hiking trip, they would have a good chance of creating water that would be more drinkable.
What did the filters look like?
The students were very creative. Most of them used old plastic bottles that they fashioned into filters using sand, charcoal, and pieces of cloth.
How could you tell if their water filters worked? Obviously, you wouldn't require the kids and yourself to drink it, would you?
Is that a good reflective question, Mr. Crosslin?
Mr. Yenna, I apologize. I should have asked, what might your indicators be that students were successful at filtering their water?
That's better. Now I don't feel so stressed. The biggest indicator of success did rely upon us drinking their filtered water. There was nothing harmful in it though. Just some antifreeze, motor oil, and Drano. I saved the first taste test for a couple of my favorite students. Just kidding. The mixture to be filtered really contained a little dishwashing liquid, table salt, and food coloring.
Did their filters work?
Definitely. While a few were less than perfect, there were several that filtered out almost all of the food coloring, salt, and soap.
How do you know the outcomes you set were met? Ooh, I'm a poet and I don't know it.
Ha ha. Well, most students did well on their tests, but even those that didn't do great on the paper test, could explain everything about the water cycle.
What are your hunches about how using a project affected student learning?
Without the requirement to actually make a water filter, many students probably would have just sat in their seats and not engage. The project made it impossible to not engage.
Sounds good. One component for the STEM curriculum we're creating is that all content will include a strong emphasis on learning by doing. Active learning is where it's at.
I'm with you on that. By the way, this may sound stupid, but what does STEM stand for?
Science, technology, engineering, and math. You should know, there's no dumb questions.
Thanks, Mr. Crosslin. You are my favorite person in the world. Sorry, Rachel.